Okay, so this is a little talk about just getting from an idea across. So I had an idea for a logo for a thing called Solid Records. So this is what I ended up with, but I'm just going to kind of take you through how I started with them. So I was thinking about ways to kind of make a very solid looking S, and then I was trying to reduce the S down to its most simple kind of form. And so the S is basically an initial curve, and then it kind of mirrors itself as it goes. So I had this idea of two halves of a circle. So I'm just going to make a circle. And if I'm going to, let's make this, sorry, flip those around. Black fill, no outline. Okay, just easier to show you. If I take 1 point on this and delete it, I get half a circle. Now I'm going to take that, I'm going to Alt and drag to make a copy, and then I'm going to hold the Shift key down and rotate it. Now I'm just going to line them up like that, and that gives me my very, very basic S. So I can combine that to make one shape, or I can group it. But then I was thinking, well, I wonder if there's a way to make, can I get more out of this? So I decided I would make the word solid out of as many circles as I could. Now the L and the I are a problem, obviously, because they have they're basically rectangles. So what I did was I took a copy of this. So I'm going to Alt and drag that, and I'm going to take this one and I'm going to make it into a solid shape for the moment. These two, I'm going to line them up on their base. Move that to there. Then I drew a rectangle that I felt was, I can line it up there at the top, see that? And just line it up at the base there. And I'm kind of looking for a width of that I feel isn't too wide, or it's the right width for it. And I'm kind of eyeballing that. That's kind of, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to scale that down to the same height as the O. Then I'm going to take this, Alt and drag that to make a copy, and I'm going to combine those just because I really want it to be a circle. So see that line there? I've lined it up at the left hand side of the rectangle, and now I've lined it up with the right hand side. So I'm going to move that up. I'm going to get about halfway between the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to take this, Alt and drag over to here for my D. So I'm going to move that over to get the same gap between the L and the I, sorry, between the I and the D as there is between the L and the I. And that looks right to me. Yeah. So then what I did was I took this circle, I'm going to drag it to there, and I'm just going to give it a white fill. Then I took this object and I rotated it, sorry, I made a mistake there, just bring that back to white. Then I took this object, I hold Shift key down, and I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees and move that in. Now, in doing that, it makes it look like the bottom isn't lining up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my rulers, show rulers, Command Ors or Control Ors or shortcut. So I'm just going to put ruler lines down here at the top and bottom. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to scale it up, and this I'm going to scale it down. So it's a little bit of push and pull to get this where you want it to go. And that's it. So, gap there, I'm going to take these three objects, I'm going to nudge them a little closer. Now I'm going to make that a group. I'm going to make that a group. That's already combined. So I'm going to take all 5 objects, 6 objects, 5 groups essentially, and line them up on their base. And if I want to test it, it might work, might not. I'm going to distribute them. That doesn't work. So it's distributing them based on their width. So I'm going to undo that. Go back to there. And that was it. That's how I did it. So I'm going to take records, Alt and drag. I'm going to drag that, be the same width. even though visually it's not. That's about right there. Select the whole thing. Scale it down. And like I could try that as, go to my swatches. So this would be a good time to kind of take this shape here, ungroup it. I'm going to take these two, subtract that one. So I can swap those around, see what they look like as outlines. Oh yeah, I can see a problem there. Okay, so let's undo that. Yeah, I didn't quite have those two lined up. Oh, I see. No, my mistake. Command Z. That's it. So I think that works. It's an unfortunate word in that it gets kind of narrower as it goes on. But I could have taken this part, for instance. And what I'll do is I'll make a small rectangle. Actually, no, I'll just duplicate this one. So ungroup that. So I'm going to take both of these and combine them. Now I think it looks a bit better. And the reason why I took that one and added it on is because proportionally it helps. It's a definite extra shape I'm using rather than a random rectangle. Just continues the proportions along a little bit, you know. I think that looks a bit better. And the repetition of the 2 points. So solid, but it's got a bit cut out of it. I don't know what that means. But I could have put that down in the center so it would look more like a record, I guess, you know. Like with the hole cut out for those old enough to remember what records look like. Yeah, so that's how I did it. So I mean, I was just really just taking a circle idea and seeing how far I could take that to kind of produce something I wanted. Now I could go in then and let's zoom in on this. So let's say I wanted to bring some of the curves into the rectangles. So what I could do is establish a little rule for myself. So I'm going to take those two corners there and just curve those. And I think that makes a big difference. I could take this point and this point and curve those. And then I want to take this point here and curve it. And now I have a curve on every part of it. And I think that looks a lot better. Now let's get rid of this guy here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, Alt and drag to here, right in the center. I'm going to change that to white. This one. And now I think it's a lot more interesting now, I think. So let's compare those two. Let's get rid of records for the moment and bring this one down. And look at them side by side. Yeah, I think definitely the red one works better. It's got rules to it, you know. It's got a, you know, there's at least a curve on every part of it. And, you know, the S has, you know, lost its points, but I don't think that's any bad thing. The L's maybe, and the I, let's try one extra addition to that and see. Let's take those curves. Yeah. See, now it's starting to look a bit more like Solio a little bit, but that's okay. That's an easy fix. We could just bring back that point there, you know. But yeah, I think it's more interesting. Definitely more of a logo type than this one. This feels a bit more, you know, first draft, and this one feels finished. You know. Okay. Anyway, there you go.